we will go ahead and get kicked off with today's AMA. And first up, today we are going to go over to Sunbear.
I know, right? Crazy. Hey, everybody. Great to be here. Great to welcome you to this AMA. I just want to say, this week the team's been in great spirits, working really hard, feeling a lot of hope and excitement. We're always trying to innovate and find like new direction and ways to really grow and do good by all of you and to this project. And I think it's been a really exciting week that way. And I think you'll see some of those details coming out over the next few weeks. But just wanted to say I'm really proud of this team and what we're doing. So I wanted to also just take a moment to do some shout outs. You probably saw a few new people in the castle this week, some of our partners, quite a few actually. So I want to shout out to them. Hyperplay has actually been there for about a week. We've partnered with them and have done some events with them as they launched their live beta. They are a Web3 native game launcher and a game store aggregator, and they're built with their main partner, MetaMask. There's going to be a lot that you'll see come out of this partnership. Right now, they're working out some of the bugs and getting games integrated and everything. But I think you're going to see a lot this summer when they push out their main product and a lot of marketing around that. So really excited about that partnership, and to be the first web-based game on that launcher is also really exciting. In fact, when we were at an event with them, we started telling other folks about it, other great games, and they also joined the group while we were there. So some fun stuff there. Super Oracles has been a great partner that we are working with now as well. Oracle Solution, providing price feeds, randomness via VRF. I'm sure Magnus could say a lot more about how we're working with them because he's got the expertise there, but great partnership and enjoying that process with them. I also want to give a shout out to DQuest. DQuest is basically a gaming platform. They're focused on onboarding, education, engaging players into like Web3 games and things like that. They actually built what they call a journey for folks to learn about DFK. And so because they have that focus on education and really like helping people understand games and then encouraging them, through rewards to kind of check them out and try them, they're really a fit for one of our main objectives right now is to really help people understand DeFi Kingdoms. So you're going to see a lot more come out most likely with them in that partnership. But if you want to check them out, head on into the castle and click over to see what they're doing. And I will pass over to Zipper because he's got a list to share with you.
Yeah, hey everybody, thanks Sunbear. So we have a few items in the other half of the castle, in the Archivist and the Artist, and so we're very happy to welcome a handful of new builders and creators into the Kingdom Building Program and have people listed there. So if you haven't checked them out yet, I would really encourage you to do so. We've got DFK Combat by I Know Kung Fu, who's been building out, as far as I'm aware, one of the only sites that helps players create combat loadouts for all their heroes and is tracking really closely with all of the work being done by Wisdom on the combat testing grounds. So lots of great stuff there, and he's just been building that out really fast. We've got DFK History, which is pretty new by our good friend Mellow Green Giant, which allows you to view all of a hero's life events, as he calls them, their level ups, their summons, their sales, and all of that good stuff, keeping it right in one place. And Mellow Green Giant did something really cool with that too, is he actually built out an API for all of those events, so other builders can use that as well, and that's already happening with a few other builders. So he's indexing those items from the blockchain, which are hard to find, and then making them available not only through his site but to others as well. So that's really fantastic. And then we also have Hero Roster by Lyro, which may be a little less known, but is a really great site for helping you find summoning pairs, especially within your own hero roster. And he's also built out some tools to help put together good duel teams as well. So really great tools there by our builders, and we're super excited to have those. And then on the artist side, we've got some new content creators coming in, some of whom you're probably familiar with already. We've got the About Life podcast by two honest and friends. Just really high energy, doing lots of summons, strategy, really great stuff there. Lots of giveaways and just really great community building. Really happy to have him there. We've got Bogside Chats with Matty Pesk and Franz and Guy Kid. Many of you probably know, doing all of that reckless speculation on combat and crafting and everything else. And then we've got the Brown Gent as well, who's focused on strategy for Web3 more broadly. Longtime supporter of DeFi Kingdoms, does weekly streams and community building and giveaways and all that good stuff. So we're really happy to have all these builders and creators, partnering with us and building great content, and really encourage all of you to check those out if you haven't. So that's my quick plug on those. And then finally, I did want to give just a quick mention. Many of you probably noticed that DFK Expert is actually no longer listed in the Archivist. And that is because our good friend Stronghold did need to step away from the project and the work that he was doing on Expert, and took all of those pages down so he could focus on some stuff in real life. Just wanted everybody to know, there was no drama, no hard feelings, nothing like that. Stronghold, such a great supporter of DFK for so long, and we just really appreciate everything that he has done for the project and all of his infographics and compiling all of the info for everything. So just we really appreciate him. We wish him well. We hope he comes back someday. And he made a lot of his stuff available to the community, and some community builders have even put up mirrors of his site already, so you can still find all of the materials that he put together. So that's all for my updates, and I will pass it back to Bolin.
Thank you both. Really excited to see those keep growing. And let's see, next up, we are going to go over to Dreamer.
Thanks, Bolin. Hi, everybody. So we're actually getting pretty close to the Avalanche Summit here that is slotted for the first week of May. I believe the official dates are 3, 4, and 5, but it does require some international travel, and I think we lose a day going that way. So about a week and a half out from some folks looking to start that. Been planning a lot for the summit. Avalanche Gaming has been and continues to be a really good partner in this. We're being elevated in some pretty big ways there. We do have a keynote that we're working on, trying to do something a little bit different this time, where the main deliverable there will be kind of I don't want to say a reboot, but like a fresh take on the long-term vision of what DeFi Kingdoms as a game really is. And I think, in the process of building real time, every time a new feature comes out, we all, and the team included, we all get very focused on, what we have now, what we've released now, what does it mean maybe to value add, to fund, to price, to demand, to, DFK chain volume, and all these other things. It can be hard to get a very strong sense of the long-term vision. It's even harder for somebody new coming in to take everything in. Do you hop into the castle and see all these incredible partners and kingdom builders and collaborations that were just given an update on by Zipper and Sunbear, or do you hop into like the original initial features of the gamified decks and the heroes, and then kind of go down a rabbit hole of everything you can do with the heroes? There's so many different directions there. We want to take the large audience in the Avalanche ecosystem and take that opportunity to make it very clear what is DeFi Kingdoms, add some more branding and vision declaration, I suppose. So excited for that keynote. I think we have some exciting updates there to make things very clear, kind of who the player is, how the heroes are factored in, how the features we have today support that vision, and the features that are to come really execute and build on that. In addition to that, we're being featured on, I believe, 3 other panels. Those panels will probably be on various stages, but from what I've seen, most of them are going to be on main stage, where anybody attending the summit is really going to see keynote plus various topics of panels covered, and a dedicated space at the game lounge, which I think I mentioned before, that's locked in and happening like an hour after the keynote. This is all actually happening at a really awesome location as well. It's hard to really explain, but it's the Poble Espanyol in Barcelona. If you wanted to Google it, it's a really incredible venue. It's kind of more of like a real life museum of sorts that replicates some bits of history. So I won't go into too much detail there. I'm giving this more detailed overview to hopefully excite some people to be interested in going. We have been working with Avalanche Gaming to see if they have any tickets set aside that we might be able to give to folks in the community. We are unsure about number at this point. We're really just trying to see if anybody would be interested. International travel isn't cheap. It also isn't necessarily easy. It requires a passport, looking at flights and seeing where you'd like to stay. But if there are folks listening now that are like, man, I would travel there to see 6 or 7 people from the team, various people in the ecosystem, go to this awesome venue and maybe get some unique merch or some unique interactions with others in the community, please reach out to, and I think I'm just going to say Bolon, maybe you could chime in on what the best way to do that is, but I imagine this is going to be, 1, I'm interested, 2, let me do some work to show you that I can go. We're then going to get you a ticket, and be excited to see any and everybody that would be interested to go. If we end up getting an overwhelmingly large response, we can't guarantee everybody gets a ticket, but as of right now, we don't have a fixed number. So if 4 or 5 people reach out, we'll likely be able to get everybody a ticket. If 100 people reach out, we might try to get creative and make it fair on who we can get a ticket and who maybe we can't. So I'll pause there. Bolon with the overview and instructions. Anything to add?
Yeah, I would just say if you are interested in going and able to go, you can reach out to me really pretty much however you prefer. Honestly, Discord or Twitter are probably the 2 easiest. But yeah, Discord and Twitter would both work. So shoot me a DM if you are genuinely interested and able to go to Avalanche Summit in Barcelona, May 3rd through 5th. Just shoot me a DM, Discord or Twitter, whatever's easier for you. I'll try to get a kind of rough count of how many people are interested. We'll finalize how many tickets we have, but I just want to continue to stress as many times as possible, if you can't actually go, don't make us get a ticket for you. So, obviously we got to do this last year with Decentral in Miami in December. It was incredible. They gave us 25 tickets. We had 25 people show up and use those tickets. So we want to keep that going. If we get a ticket from them, we want it to be used. So honestly, once we have a count of tickets that we have, we may require proof of travel arrangements. We're figuring that out. But if you're not actually going to be able to make it, you can't actually go, please don't ask for a ticket. But aside from that, hit me up and let's do what we do best and show up and show out.
Cool. So yeah, we'll see what interest there is there. Outside of the event, there's always side events for those that are maybe newer to these things. It's also a really beautiful city, and I imagine we would look to include whoever shows up in things like the game lounge time on the 4th, and maybe some other ways as well. So outside of that, I personally was really excited to see that we got Korean translation supported in the mini patch update yesterday. If you're in the game and you go to the bottom left, you can toggle between English and Korean. This will be a moving target since we are always adding new stuff. However, it really helps with folks that are in the Clayton ecosystem that maybe hop in, and there's already so much to learn. And although many people in the region do speak and understand English, to start to provide a more native experience for some is a really good step in the right direction. I imagine in the future we will have other major languages supported. We also have to be careful because, as mentioned, every time we do an update, if we support 20 different languages, that'll be a lot, right? But at the very least, we wanted to make sure we had this. So to this group here, maybe seems small, but it does at least remove some barriers to entry for certain potential potentially acquired player personas, say it that way. So excited for that update and all the work that went into it. So I'll pause there. Back to you, Bolon.
Thank you. Real quick side note that has nothing to do with this AMA, but I don't know when we've decided that we're going to use both of these chat channels, the one for the stage and the AMA voiceless chat, but man, it's really hard. Anyway, moving on with the actual AMA, wanted to kick it over to Magnus.
Hey everybody. So first off, I wanted to mention there's currently a known issue with hero bridging, specifically from Harmony to DFK chain after the upgrade a couple weeks ago. It's got about 90 heroes or so stuck in the bridge right now. We're currently working with Synapse on this issue and plan to have a fix out for that soon. Also wanted to remind everybody that Avalanche Go v1.10 is out now as part of their Cortina upgrade, and it will be activating on April 25th at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And so be sure and update your nodes if you're running those. Otherwise, you'll get left behind, and there's some difficulties recovering if you miss that, but it's not impossible. Then lastly, this week I'm working on bringing over the remaining quests to our new Quest V3 system, which the main change with that is it's being switched over to Diamond, so we're kind of unbound on the amount of logic we can put in the contracts. And then there's also be a few other changes we'll get out to the community builders as soon as we can, so you can update your various integrations with those new changes. And then I'm also working on some other related contracts and config for the big patch. Yeah, those are my 3 updates for now.
Thank you, Magnus. Hopefully y'all can hear me. My computer just started lagging really hard. Oh, there we go. All right, we're back. Hello. Thank you, Magnus, for those updates. Very much appreciated. And now we are going to kick over to Sasha.
We are. Well, hello everyone. Green pets, yes. As promised, we're going to do some live green pet hatching today. So what you're going to see today is I'm going to hatch pets on our testnet environment. So it's not real. It's kind of is real, but it also is not real, if you know what I mean. So the plan is to hatch 3 green eggs live on stream. And we can't influence the outcome. It may be 3 comments, it may be 3 mythics, it could be odd variants. It's all up to the random generator what we will get. I also choose the Gaia spoon, so we get at least the highest chance to get some really good looking, maybe legendary or even mythic pets. We will see. And another thing, if I hatch a beanbug, a long blob, or an onion, which we already showed, I'm going to hatch another pet. So you're at least going to see 3 new green pets today. What we will not share today is going to be the ingredients needed to hatching the green pets. So let me first try to figure out how to share this without, wait, what I'm doing. Share screen. So there you go, our test environment. You can join the stream by clicking on it, I guess. And I'm going to give you all a few seconds. So then let's get to it. Go to the marketplace as usual. Go to our good friend Hatcher Cliff, and there you can see many green pets already incubated, ready to be incubated, ready to be hatched. Yes. So then let's start with the first one. Bolon, you gotta let me know if something doesn't work out on the visual end, because I'm not
Need
seeing
like
it.
a drum roll.
Come on. That was a really good drum roll. I love it.
So there we go. We got an uncommon scarecrow. That is the first one. Flip it around.
A rare enchanting bonus.
Yeah, rare enchanting bonus.
Which does answer many questions about what the book was that I refused to answer previously.
I mean, it was obvious, but
It was. I'm just glad that we can finally keep the crows off our gardens. That's the best drummer impression I can make. There you go. Our second one is the alpaca. Flip it around. What is it doing? It's doing what alpacas do best. And the third one is going to be... let's see if you can get at least a rare this time. Like usually on testnet I always get the mythic. Oh, there we go. We got a legendary. The Metal Hulk.
Oh, that is sick.
Look at this bad boy. And there we go.
That's
That was the live
Yeah.
screen. That's actually modeled after Beetle Dude.
Yes,
In real
it's
life.
like a best dad. He had me sit for those portraits.
Hey, Hubert, what bonuses did they have?
I saw a common combat bonus and several rare gardening bonuses.
Nice.
Yes, the bonuses come in a later point, but we get to that. So thanks for tuning in. I'm going to hand it back to Bolon.
Could you do one more drum roll though?
Over to you, Bolon.
Thank you, Sasha. I feel much better introduced now. So, hopefully everybody enjoyed that. Obviously, this has been a lot of work going into all of the pets that will be available with the green egg hatching. Still more work being done on the front of utility and feeding and etc., which can be tracked through our handy dandy spreadsheet. But we really wanted to show people what was coming and get to give everybody a taste of what's happening. So we were very excited about it, and hopefully everybody liked getting to see a little sneak peek of a couple things. And with that, we are going to go into some questions. So the first question is for the dude of Beetle, speaking of, primarily, but anybody is welcome to jump in, which is people were curious if there was just a brief overview, not necessarily a detailed patch notes, of what has so far been updated or enhanced in the combat testing grounds since their release.
Yes, sir. Good question. I gotta say, I'm just super excited about that pet. Nice job, Sashay. I'm gonna have to borrow that from you sometime. Yes, good question, Bolon. Primarily, what's happened with the combat testing ground since it was released has been quite a bit of bug fixing, performance enhancements. I know at the beginning there were some issues with kind of slowness, which have been hammered out, which is awesome. And then just quite a few formula and mathematics behind the scenes updates to make sure that everything is working as intended, as well as kind of getting things in place for us to be able to test and balance those things as well. And then the next kind of big push that we've been working on, primarily at this point, second best ad, is just an overhaul of the entire animation system, from the hero rigs to the visual effects. So that's kind of a bigger, longer term item that's going to take a little bit of time, because we're really trying to make sure the heroes look good when they're in combat. A ton of work has gone into that, and making sure that everything feels good as well when you're attacking, that everything feels great. So that's a longer term project that's in progress right now, and we're working on that on the art side in conjunction with the development teams working on the Gigapatch. So just trying to kind of coordinate between those two things and make sure that we're moving forward on all fronts while we're able to. So that's that. I guess I didn't give an update earlier, but I'll give just a mini update along with that. On the front end, we are hard at work with regards to the Gigapatch, as I'm calling it, and hoping that it catches on with other people. I will say, yesterday made a ton of progress on the pet treat crafting flow on the front end. Spent a solid 14 hours of work working on that. Just trying to push that forward as quickly as possible. So so you know that we're constantly pushing as fast as we can. We are not sitting on our laurels. We are moving quickly. And I guess on a final note, and to give people, I guess, a little bit more to look forward to, I know there's lots of people asking when green pets, and I'm here to tell you that we're already working on yellow pets in earnest, and that Psychobus Dad and his team are making sure that the wait for the yellow pets will not be as long as it has been for the green pets. So he is sharing something in the chat now. The correct canonical chat, voiceless chat. The Frongus, as it's named, and it is a real beaut. And so just so y'all know, we are pushing forward with yellow pets as well, and should hopefully have a much shorter wait between green and yellow, and just in an attempt to get everything out as quickly as we can once we have all the pet mechanics out as well. So get excited for that. Always calling on Second Best Dad to make me look good, so everybody looks forward to my updates, right? back to you all, and hopefully I answered the question and then a bunch of questions that you didn't ask.
But what did you do with the other 10 hours of your day yesterday?
That's a good question. Thought about pet treats mostly.
That's usually how you realize that you actually worked 19 hours yesterday.
Right. Don't tell anyone.
Appreciate it, Beetle Dude. Let's see. One of the other things that has been widely discussed, but I was going to give Magnus a couple of minutes to talk about how gas works on a blockchain.
All right. Yeah. So this is kind of a complex topic. I'll try to hit the high points and keep it within a few minutes here. But yeah, so basically the way the gas works in the EVM is it's a really ingenious system in my opinion. It was a result of years of work by the Ethereum protocol contributors. So I'll just kind of start with the basics and work up from there. So gas is a unit of computation in the EVM. Operations in the Ethereum virtual machine cost a fixed number of gas. Like add costs 3 gas, multiply costs 5 gas, etc. And before you make a call to a smart contract, the RPC, which you'll kind of see the result of in MetaMask, will estimate the total amount of gas it thinks the transaction will take, which is the gas limit that it sends with the transaction. The other piece of the gas fee equation is the gas price, denominated in Gwei. So you take the estimated gas limit times the gas price that you're willing to pay, and that gives you the gas fee that you send along with the transaction to make sure it gets mined. And the cheapest price you can pay is the minimum base fee, which we've currently got set on DFK chain at 3 Gwei. And there's also, that's like the minimum, but there's also a base fee that is kind of like the average, and that fluctuates throughout the day as more transactions are submitted to the mempool. So the gas price that MetaMask recommends, it's determined by looking at what most of the transactions in the mempool have their gas price set at, and it makes a determination on how long it thinks it would take to get your transaction mined, and kind of like tries to kind of hit the middle of the road there, but you can choose like higher or lower, or even set a custom one. The validators choose to process the highest value transactions first. So that's why setting a higher gas price will get your transaction to go through faster. And if you have a stuck transaction, there's the option to add more gas. So that will basically like bump it up in the priority in the mempool to get it mined sooner. And so all that is to say, basically the gas prices end up working like an auction, or if you want your transaction to be mined the quickest, you'll have to send the highest gas price in the auction, and then it'll work its way down from there. And if you want it to be mined in a reasonable time, but maybe not like instantly, you have to submit the transaction with roughly the same price as everybody else. You've also got the option to submit with a really low gas price all the way down to the base fee, whatever it happens to be at that current time. But you might have to wait around for a while for the validators to find somewhere in the block space to slip in that kind of transaction that's a lower priority for them. And so the validators, they're incentivized to process the highest value transactions first to collect the most fees, and combine that with a limited block space. For example, on DFK chain, we have 25 million gas per block. This makes the economics of the situation turn into a gas auction. And when there are a ton of wallet addresses that want to compete for that same limited block space, this naturally drives the gas price up. And then you take the gas price times the amount of computation you're going to do in gas units, and that's where you get that fee that kind of varies throughout the day. And I kind of like to think of that as like PvP in a way. Gas fees kind of serve as a way to protect the chain from spam, because if the spammer is submitting a ton of spam, at some point they're going to run out of block space for that, and it will drive the gas price up as it is trying to compete for that same block space. This gas price auction mechanism also allows for things like front-running profitable transactions. There's basically people, especially on Ethereum, called MEV searchers that will watch the mempool, and if they can identify a profitable transaction through a simulation and submit with a higher gas price than their trading competitors, they get the profit, and then the people they're trading against, they just burned gas for no reason in that auction. So only the winners kind of get the profit there. So that's like a whole interesting side of things. But yeah, I hope that's a good summary of like the different things that influence gas price. Definitely a complex topic, so I'll kind of leave it at that since I want to keep it short here. But yeah, hopefully that answers some questions people have.
You should just repeat all of that. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you very much, Magnus. It is definitely a complicated topic, and a lot of math goes into it. But definitely very much appreciate the explanation and trying to help people understand how it works and why it fluctuates. All right, let's see. So, got a question here for Dreamer on the legal opinion. Basically, just asking if there's a particular reason that it takes as long as it does, if we've run into any kind of delays, any issues, that kind of thing. So, just an update on that front, I guess.
Sure. So this is our first time doing this, so we're learning a fair amount as well. And as mentioned in previous weeks, it's well timed with what we're seeing with regulatory bodies in the U.S. I don't want to say going after, but investigating some of the largest centralized exchanges out there, which might kind of alter the landscape of who is active on those exchanges and what's required. So we're kind of going above and beyond to get this full-blown legal opinion. This isn't just like a short attestation that Joule is not a security. As we understand the process, it's lengthy because the output, as was communicated to us, is that it's like a very long, 30 pages is how I've interpreted, very long document that says everything that the token is used for and does and where it came from today, as well as since it's like origin. So even if some things have shifted around, and for Joule we have seen that shift around. Luckily though, I think its previous utility was similar to that of Jade and Crystal today. So this opinion might actually serve a few purposes, not only for Joule. We'll have to see. But this process kind of follows. I'm not an expert here, but if for those that are familiar with like the Howey test, which I think traditionally is used to identify if like a transaction is deemed as a security or like an investment contract. If you want to Google what is a Howey test and how does it relate to crypto, I think there's a lot of views out there. I'm not going to try to share any view in particular, but the Howey test is essentially, saying, is it an investment of money? Is there a common enterprise? Reasonable expectation of profits and derived from the efforts of others. So as I've said that, some people might say, okay, Joule does check some of those boxes, but others are less clear. If we take a step back and look at like Bitcoin, I think it would hit the first one, but maybe not the second and third. And then fourth is kind of a gray area. If we look at other precedents that are going on, there's a lot of talk around like utility tokens not being a security simply because that number 3 that I mentioned, reasonable expectation of profit. If you're buying a token that gives utility to do something, just because it trades on a secondary market and price can go up and down, doesn't necessarily default it to be a like one-for-one security according to like our laws today. So the more utility you can add to something, whether that utility is simply governance or being able to use it to get access to other sources of return, like through staking or in a gamified project where we are using this technology and applying it to heroes, pets and resources in the game, the more competition, strategy, and it really parallels with other existing games that maybe don't have blockchain technology applied. The more of that we can add to it, the stronger our case is that the related tokens are not simply securities according to the Howey test. So all of that needs to be done by professionals, which our main legal representation, Ashbury Legal, are the professionals we've chosen. They are familiar with Joule and what we've done in the past, so it's the best starting point. So therefore, it should be a lot faster. However, they still have to prove with facts on paper in a way that is digestible everything that we just talked about, plus more. So I'm just kind of using my own understanding of what I imagine they are proving. I have not seen it. We've only been answering questions. Tango's been the main point of contact. There's been no communication of concern or expression that they're not going to be able to give a positive opinion. I don't know if we actually call it positive or negative in this sense. I'm used to saying positive opinion, but maybe it's a negative opinion in that Julie's not a security. But either way, an opinion that we want. So more updates to come. I'm hoping that this is finalized soon. Soon in my mind is like 2 weeks or so, but we're asking for an update, and we'll share with how it's been going, what they have left to do, and what the status update is, because we don't really control the deliverables there. Bolan, do we feel like that answered the question? I probably went into too much detail than the person that asked the question wanted, but as I typically like to do, I like to be transparent, maybe share some new information. But did I miss any part of it?
Nope, I think that covered it. I appreciate it. All right, let's see. Then I was unprepared. Next question. All right. Discovery of pet profession bonuses. Will the list of possible too much alliteration. Will the list of possible pet profession bonuses be announced at the time of release, before release, or will it be up to players to discover them post-release? If anybody else wants to chime in, they're welcome to. I'll just say we are planning on putting that out ahead of time, prior to patch night. Obviously, it is going to be new information and a decent amount of it, so we want to give people time to digest that and kind of get familiar with it prior to it being in game. So no hunting for bonuses on this one. We will just provide the list. Hubert, anything I missed there?
Nope, I think that covers it all.
Awesome. I do actually have a question for you that came in while we were talking. So also on pets and their bonuses, does a pet get a bonus for every star on their card or one for every category? And if it's one for every category, does the magnitude scale if the bonus is common versus rare versus mythic?
So if I understand that correctly, I think so a pet can at most have 3 bonuses, one gathering profession bonus, one crafting bonus, and then a combat bonus. The stars indicate the magnitude of the bonus. So if it's a 3-star, it's a mythic bonus, which means it's going to have the highest possible values available for whatever bonus it ends up having. And with the common bonuses being the lowest of that range of things. But most bonuses do exist within all of the categories. So there's like a common experience bonus available, and also a rare and a mythic. And same thing for the majority of the other ones. But there are a few that are also limited to either being only available on the rare and above, or some are also just only available in the mythic tier as well. So hopefully that clarifies that. If I missed anything on that question, I guess let me know.
I believe you got it all. And then will the initial bonus roll for pets be for all bonuses or just the gathering?
It'll just be for the gathering. We'll likely have 2 further kind of reroll events for pets, since I believe the combat bonuses are likely to come out before the crafting bonuses do. So we'll have a couple more to go at that point. However, any newly hatched pet, after we do these updates, will have their bonuses decided upon hatching. So the ones that actually have available bonuses anyway. So eventually, once we get all those out, then there won't be a need for rerolling those bonuses. They'll all just come out nice and ready to use. So, yep.
Thank you, good sir. Let's see. So we had a couple of other questions come in that we can take real quick. If my laptop will stop freezing. There we go. One of them was, will implementation of the auction house feature introduce any limitations to items that can be pooled in the gardens and listed in the marketplace? So basically, will anything be blocked from the decks?
Not sure who this question's intended for.
Whoever
I,
wants.
I guess I can weigh in on it. So no, other than I guess the ERC 1155 tokens, which right now we have are just the pages of the Eternal Story, are not supported by the DEX. So those ones will be available to buy and sell on the auction house. And otherwise, just if we have any other tokens that are that format, then those would also be excluded from the DEX. And there may be some that are those that we have in the future, but once we have the auction house in place, I think that should resolve a lot of problems.
Thank you, sir. And just to clarify as well, anything that's on the decks now will always be on the decks. And then once the chain is more open, I mean, anybody can go in and create a dex pair. They're just not going to be incentivized or anything, and most likely not highly used, but they could be. So, there's not going to be blocks on the decks to prevent you from pooling something if you want to.
Yeah, and I think on the other side, I don't think we're going to be intentionally being like, that's available in the gardens, block from being listed in the auction house. I think, there is some added functionality at like Jewel, for example, Jewel Jade, or other tokens that are in the gardens, because you can set prices to buy or sell at, kind of like options or parent contingent through other trading platforms. If X happens, then do Y. We're not looking to like block any potential utility or application that is embedded. Although people will likely gravitate to one or the other. I imagine majority of the resource tokens or under tokens that aren't currently incentivized in the DFK gardens would primarily be traded in what we're referring to now as auction house, which will likely have a different name. And then the tokens that are being incentivized have healthier liquidity in the DEX, where somebody doesn't have a desire to like set a fixed price to buy and sell at different from current price. I imagine that will likely remain in the gardens because the fees will be probably a lot smaller. And as long as people aren't doing like huge trades with price impact and slippage, if they're operating in a healthy trading range relative to the liquidity, they'd probably stay there. So we're more adding options or like optionality for people to trade, and hopefully helping with liquidity and buyers finding sellers and sellers finding buyers, rather than trying to like overly engineer where people do what by adding blockers. There will just kind of be natural, this is better to do here and that is better to do there, rather than hard blocking anything. Does anybody disagree with that? I don't want to misspeak, but I wanted to just elaborate on both sides. I don't think we're looking to overly block anything. Sounds like no.
Okay. I think y'all can hear me. I don't know what's going on with my laptop. I'll have to restart it after the AMA. Sorry. So thank you both. Appreciate you, gentlemen. One other question, which I believe is talking about combat because it uses the word battlefield, but it's also about pets. Will the pet show on the battlefield together with the hero in our plans for combat?
Yes, I'll weigh in on that one. So not currently, though you would be able to see the pet in the equipment view, or like the extra info view, when you're looking at different heroes, so you can see what they have. But no, we did not. That would be quite an upgrade. It's something that maybe in the future we'll look at, but at least not for this initial way we're doing combat. Will they show up? So unless we have them as enemies.
Oh, there we go. Now we're talking. All right. And then, so one last question, and this one will be for everyone, so we can just go around the table, which is, what's the most exciting thing that you've worked on recently? Let's see. Let's start with Sunbear hasn't talked in a few minutes. Let's start with him.
Something I think I'm most excited about right now is that I've been working on is like working with our partners, just establishing partnerships like with game launchers and different partners that want to really help people know what DeFi Kingdoms is. And just seeing the clarity come out of the team of like the vision and the direction that we're going with it. And so that's what I'm really excited about right now. Like how can we reach out to so many different parts of the world, countries, languages that are excited to bring DeFi Kingdoms in, but they still they haven't digested it yet. And so lots of like game launchers and education pieces, and probably some campaigns will come out of that too. So that's what I'm excited about.
Thank you, good sir. Let's go to Sachet.
Why? Yeah, what I've been working on or working with, what I'm excited about. Well, obviously, the big patch. It's been in the works for quite some time, and I know sometimes the patience can be a bit enduring, but it's really good. It's going to enable so many things for us for in the future. So it's really cool to see how that develops, how everyone is working really smoothly together, seeing all the new art fall into piece, and on the back end many new stuff that's doing really good. And yeah, it's just like many pieces we've been working on for a long time now falling into one big picture. So that's really exciting times now, and lots of good stuff to come after the big patch also. So yeah, with that, over to you, Bodon.
That's the most exciting thing you've worked on in a long time, let's be honest. So let's see. Who do I want to pick on next? Magnus.
Yep. So mine is kind of like a group of things, I would say, more than just one particular feature. But the last several months, probably even like 6 months, we've been taking the opportunity to make things operationally easier for ourselves in terms of like managing our like 300 plus contracts now, might even be more than that. One of those is bridging flag storage, so we can do a lot of cool things cross chain. We're also we've converted pretty much every like contract that was close to the limit over to a diamond at this point, or we'll be doing that very soon, and that's gonna like unblock us. So instead of having to focus our time on like optimizing everything for storage, we can now optimize for other things like gas usage, or and also just add more logic to the contracts. And one of the biggest barriers recently has been like the Quest V2 system that we're now converting over to diamonds for Quest V3, and we're simplifying a lot of things too. So anytime we do upgrades, it's going to be like less contracts overall. So that's less time we have to spend kind of upgrading and doing multi-sig transactions and things like that. So it translates to spending more time working on features that are fun and add more value for the players, rather than kind of down in the technical down in like the technical details. So yeah, I really like that. That's going to free up our time to just do more high value things, I would say. So definitely a good direction.
Thank you, Magnus. Let's see. How about Dr. Zipper?
Oh, sure. So, I've been spending a lot of time kind of head down in some of the technical documentation around the Gigapatch. And I think even though this is kind of everybody's answer, I think what really blows me away is the sheer scale of what's coming. Particularly with this patch, but then, what comes after it as well. But I really think that once we have this out, people are going to be able to start to see really some of the vision starting to come together and to get a sense of what it is, we're really working toward. We've been really limited for a long time now in what we've been able to put out in many ways, but to really start to move toward that vision and just the scale of what's coming in this patch and what it enables, I think is just so excited, and I'm really, really looking forward to that and really looking forward to everybody seeing it.
Did we lose Bolon?
I thought my computer froze. Yeah. Apparently didn't. Let's see. Who did we not get to? Hubert? Did you go?
I haven't gone yet. I think Beetle, I think you. But yeah, I can go.
I think it's three if we just want to go. Hubert, Beetle, and then me. And I know we're almost at time here, so I can close this off here if we want to do it that way.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, for me, yeah, there's a lot of things being worked on. Dr. Zipper just barely kind of talked about a big piece of that. He's been doing a lot of the heavy legwork on the documentation, which I've greatly appreciated, which has kind of given me a little bit more time to focus on some of the PvP things, which I think the most exciting things for that most recently has been iterating on the monk design. There's a lot of back and forth, and because I'm rather particular about monks, I am probably giving Ian a bit more of a hard time with this one than others. Or Workhorse rather is what we usually call him. Hopefully that's okay that I called him by his name. But so yeah, that's been really fun. Excited to get that all the way finalized, and also we'll be working on some changes to the kind of fundamentals of the combat system as well. A few things that I think we're gonna upgrade to be a little bit more dynamic, and maybe I think it'll make it for a better overall system, but I'll leave the details a little bit vague for now on that. And yeah, we're just about done with all of the documentation on our the Gigapatch. There's just a little bit left to go on pet utility and getting all that in. It really is a huge amount of changes that we're doing in additions, like the entirety of quest core, because of all these bonuses. We have to insert checking for pets and the pet bonuses and applying them all over in the code, and then we have to make sure we're doing it in an efficient way, and then of course everything just to do with having bonuses with pets, equipping them, and everything else. Being able to bridge them, what it means to have two NFTs attached to each other, and how we handle that. So there's quite a lot there. Very technical. It's so much to do, but it's all coming together. I'm really excited for all of that. So yep, that's all for me.
Theoretically, I am back. Sorry about the technical difficulty today. So obviously Hubert went. I don't know if anybody went prior to him. If not, Beetle and Dreamer are left. So let's Beetle, take it away.
Oh, yeah, I will. Yeah, I kind of went over a little bit of what I have been working on earlier, and the many hours spent on it. It's all working towards the Gigapatch. I was really. I'll just say that Hubert and Dr. Zipper have been doing a great job getting the documentation ready, making it super easy for us developers to just go in and build the thing. So big props to them. I've been working on the pet feeding, pet treat creation first, and then next would be pet feeding, and then pet equipping, which cues us up for equipping other things, which is very exciting. But pets should be, of course, the first thing to equip. So super excited about that, getting us prepped for that. And then just seeing and working with Second Best Dad on all the combat testing grounds animations is also super rewarding. Seeing how the new class outfits are going to work so much better within the animations, and then eventually on the cards themselves. I don't know if it's spoilers. You've already shared lots of different things. I don't know if I'd call them new, but we'll call them just improved. So super excited about that. If that is alpha, then can get stoked for that because it's going to be great, and just a ton of stuff that's coming that will make things progress really quickly. And that's all I've got for now. Olan or Dreamer.
Yep, let's go over to Dreamer.
Well, do you want me to just kind of round it out as well, since we're a few minutes over? Or were
No.
you planning to?
Oops, sorry. Yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Okay. Did you want to say anything before I do that? I didn't want to cut you out.
Nope. Thank you to everybody who's listening. Thanks to everybody up here. Thanks for submitting questions. Don't ape into broken mechanics. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I mentioned the plan for the Avalanche Summit on the keynote and really presenting the full vision of the game itself in a way that hopefully is digestible to our community as well as those outside of the community. This is exciting because, I've spent a lot of time personally, and I think a lot of people on the team and a ton of people in the community, we've all spent a lot of time explaining to our friends or family and other curious people, what is DeFi Kingdoms? What is the potential? What are we today? And if I were to compare it to selling a car, if somebody that has never driven a car and you walk up to them and they're like, wow, you got a car, what's that? Are you going to be like, camshaft, crankshaft, suspension, exhaust, different types of fuel? And not really. I think most people aren't very interested. And even if they are, they get overwhelmed with everything under the hood. But we do this in Web3, especially in like Web3 gaming. Terms like play to earn, NFT enabled game, crypto game, blockchain game. In reality, we're on the verge. Like, this is the year of the game, right? Everything that has come before this and everything we're focused on now is to enhance the overall vision. But what is the vision? For the car example, it's a vehicle that you get into, you go fast and you're comfy and you listen to fun music and maybe it looks cool, it feels cool, I don't know. Maybe it makes it more efficient for your life. It depends on who you're selling to. We don't really have that yet. Maybe we all could communicate things in different ways. Maybe some of us connect with the heroes. Some of us are excited about the DeFi opportunities. Others are interested in like being able to build on top of this platform and use it as kind of a launch pad of sorts. And others are just really excited for the games that they know that are similar to have blockchain technology applied and see where it goes and the art and the music and everything. So even as I'm kind of rambling on now, these discussions are always very maybe not difficult, but it's not easy to really sell the vision. We need to have, like, in one sentence, who are we? You know, if you think about Apple, think different, Nike, just do it. And you think about all these other like names, we want people to say DeFi Kingdoms, blah, blah, blah. I won't say what we're working on now. And for it to be fun and really capture the vision, and then to follow that up with like core concepts. So as you can probably tell, the way I'm talking about this now, I'm really excited about it because I think that it will have a tremendous impact on how people view the overall value add of DeFi Kingdoms, how it can touch pretty much everything in Web3 and everybody outside of it, but we really hone in on certain, personas of people that we're advertising to, and people that we want to bring in, and provide a clear way to know what we are, and then to learn a fair amount to get in. So there's a ton of people involved in this effort, pretty much touches every department. It's definitely long overdue, but it's also really good timing with our focus on gameplay and the testing grounds and a lot of the foundations that are being set. So it makes me really excited. It makes me really bullish, and I feel honored to be able to participate in sharing that keynote and what we have that will really trickle down to our website. It'll impact onboarding process and experience. It'll probably change a lot of the way that we think of the game itself and who we are as players and how our heroes factor into that and what personalities they all have. So that's what I'm excited about. It's a good question. Thanks everybody for joining today. I know we're a bit over, and we are kind of trying something new where, as Fox has been out, we're allowing other people to kind of bullish us. Last week it was Bolon. This week we have Mr. Zipper up, who behind the scenes, this guy does so much. He's helping Hubert and Game Committee out a ton. He's definitely working with Sunbear on the updates that they mentioned today, more so on the Kingdom Builder side. And behind the scenes working with Bolon, pretty much jack of all trades. I am so grateful to have him on the team. I imagine others would feel the same. So over to you, Dr. Zipper, to bullish us off to go on our merry ways.
Oh, thank you, Dreamer. I just want to say, how grateful I am to wake up every day and work with this team and work on this incredible thing that we're building together and with the community, and that I remain, as always, super bullish.
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 Thanks, everybody. See you next week.